All right, on to our final shape. Let's take a look at the design we're recreating. As with many things in Figma Design, there are multiple ways to achieve this shape. Using boolean operations or drawing it from scratch using the pen tool could work, but would be a bit of a hassle. Let's save ourselves some time and modify the ellipse's arc properties instead. Grab the shapefile frame and add a 40 by 40 ellipse to it. The arc properties let you turn a solid ellipse into other shapes like rings or wedges. It's a handy feature to have in your back pocket when building custom icons or illustrations. To access the arc properties, hover your cursor over an ellipse until you see the arc handle appear. You'll use this handle to control the sweep of the arc. Once you change the sweep, two additional handles become available. The start handle, which controls where the arc begins, and the ratio handle, which allows you to change the ellipse into a ring. The same settings also become available in the right sidebar. Select the ellipse and use either method to change the start to 180 degrees, the sweep to 25, and the ratio to 15. You may notice that the ellipse's bounding box is still 40 by 40, even though the shape itself now visually takes up just a small portion of that space. This isn't something we've run into before, so let's dig into what's going on here. Changing the ellipse's arc properties only altered its appearance on the canvas, not the shape's actual dimensions. Similar to boolean operations, changing the arc properties of an ellipse is a non-destructive action. The shape's bounding box stayed the same size to preserve space in case we wanted to change the arc again. The same principle applies when changing the number of points on a polygon or star. While our shape looks nice, it would be helpful if the bounding box better fit the shape's geometry when we go to position it next to other layers. To achieve this, we can flatten the layer. Right-click on the layer and select Flatten. Great! Now the bounding box hugs the new shape. The shape is still too small, so let's resize it to 40 by 40 using the Dimensions field in the right sidebar. Once resized, center the shape inside the frame and rename the frame to Slice. Flattening an object merges its layers into a single vector layer, simplifying the design, reducing the file size, and improving asset compatibility. To flatten an object, right-click on it and select Flatten or use the keyboard shortcut. You can flatten a selection of vector layers to merge them into a complex vector shape, or flatten a text layer to customize aspects of a typeface for logos or word marks. Flattening a container layer like frames or sections will merge its child layers together and remove the container layer from the canvas. Flattening is a destructive action. Once an object is flattened, its individual layers cannot be separated again. If you flatten something by mistake, you can use the Undo shortcut or use the file's version history to restore a previous version. Our custom shapes look awesome. Let's remove the fill from the frames before we turn them into components. Select all of the frames, then click the minus in the fill section to remove the fill. Like we did before, we'll turn all of these objects into main components at once using the Create Multiple Components setting, and then move them to the Components page.